So, January 2017, now that you know the backstory. January 2017, I decided to leave, that I was done. I sat there for those months and I watched how our relationship was, and I noticed that he cared a lot more about what he wanted to do. He was on the video games all the time. I understand it's a good gateway, like I was up in the bedroom all the time, but him and I just weren't working out. And I left. One day he just said something stupid. He's like going down to the corner store and he's like, "Do you need me to get anything?" I said, "Yeah, I need you to get me a life." And he yelled at me and said, "Really?" And he left. And I was being truthful. That's how I felt. So I left. I packed up my shit. He thought I was cleaning the room. I wasn't cleaning. I wasn't organizing. I was packing up my shit and I was leaving. Got a hold of my mom, moved into my mom's. It was a struggle for the first little bit. I was driving all over the place, trying to get appointments so I could set myself up a home. And I managed to get into an apartment complex, which is the same one I lived at before, just right around the corner. And so, yeah, moved right around the corner from March 1st of 2017. I officially was out on my own. My ex was still messaging me and saying that he still loved me and we were still seeing each other. And one night I got drunk and I figured we could try and fix things, and I said, "I love you, do you still love me?" And he said no. And that hurt. He said he needed the truck to go down to Windsor for the weekend. He wanted to get away to his parents. They're having a funeral thing for one of the guys that passed away. Like when I had Alex, he went down to Windsor and was down there for a week or like a weekend when I found out I was having a boy, which is Alex. And he said he was going down there. They were having another celebration of life thing, and I said, okay. I trusted him, I believed him. And I found out, I went to work. The babysitter who was watching my kids said she wasn't feeling well, so I came home, and that's when I came home to a message from one of my very good friends saying, you do realize that your ex is down there with a female right now, and he's not in Windsor, he's in Cambridge. I immediately started bawling and screaming to the point where I scared my kids. Everything just disintegrated. 10 years of my life just fucking disintegrated. Marriage gone, everything gone. And even though I left, I just hated him so much. I wanted to fix the things that made me hate him, and I wanted him to fix himself and do it on his own without me having to help him and be his mom. And so it didn't work out that way. So essentially, I got mad and I went on Plenty of Fish, and I was like, I'm gonna bang whoever I want. I'm not like that. I try to be with one person. I can't just go around and bang the whole friggin' town and the whole city area. I'm not like that. As much as I would like to be, I'm not. I like to be with one person and try and be as good and as faithful as I can be. And depending on the situation. I went on Plenty of Fish and I got in touch with Garrett and I asked him why he was on there. I figured he would have had a girlfriend. He's a very handsome guy. Why should someone like him be on Plenty of Fish? Him and I got talking, and I said, you should come over sometime and play video games, and we can actually get to know one another instead of just, across the phone or on Plenty of Fish. We moved to Snapchat, got a car lent to me so I could go pick up groceries and deal with my court proceedings. So when I was over there, I decided to pick him up. My mom came with me. She had to pick up formula for Jax. So I was like, okay. And she went, and thank God she went, because the entire car ride home, as far as I'm concerned, as soon as he seen me, he was instantly and for me, I was instantly like, oh my God, this is the most handsomest guy I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. And so the whole car ride home, I was literally eyes out the window, trying to avoid eye contact, and I didn't know what to do with myself. I was so awkward, and it's just, he was so handsome. He was more handsome in person than on his profile picture, and I didn't know what to do with myself. And my mom kept talking about, because we know them personally but I haven't seen him in years or even really remember him. And my husband's family was really close with his mom and the family. Truth be told, my husband's mom tried adopting his brother when they were taken away. So we spent a good night together. Once we had a couple drinks into us, it was a lot more better. It was more open. We were laughing. It was good. We had pizza, we played games. He dealt with my drunk gay best friend, and it was a really good night. And I'm very thankful for him. I'm thankful for giving me a chance, because my ex actually, I guess, was talking to him and telling him what of a horrible person I am and what I've done to him, and I left and I cheated and I did this and I did that. And I told Garrett my truth, and I told Garrett what happened, and he says, I totally get it, I understand, and you're not as bad as what he was saying. And over time, we wanted to make it public, but we knew it was going to, our relationship to be public, but we didn't know how to do it because of my ex's family, and they were going to be so fucking pissed. And that's kind of the line that we used when we first dated. They're going to be so fucking pissed. And we just smile and laugh about it, because I was genuinely, and I still am genuinely in love with him, and he makes me very happy. So at that time, it was just I never thought I would ever find anybody. I thought I would die alone, and that's a sad reality to live, but everybody has a somebody, and I thought somebody, and I just lost him. So, but it wasn't like that. It got so much better after I met Garrett. He came over when he was off, and he would just spend time with me and spend time with my boys if I had them, and my boys and him have a really good bond now. So that's one thing that I appreciate. But my ex started talking and saying, when he came up to the door the first time we made our relationship public, he's like, oh, tell Garrett I say hi, or tell Garrett I say hello. So he's announcing that he knows that I'm in a relationship. He's letting me know that, I have my eyes on you. And, he was telling me that Garrett was a fuckboy, and Garrett's all these bad things, and I should watch myself. And I told him it doesn't matter. My ex had his somebody that he fucked around with, even though I was still seeing him. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It's in the past. And Garrett knew and started laughing at all the things that my ex started saying, because he knows it's a lie. I've been truthful to him. I've told him everything that has happened, and I don't want to go back to that state where I am not in control anymore, and I don't want to submit to anybody's will anymore. And Garrett has never treated me like that. He lets me do what I want. He wants me to go somewhere. And that's the distinction between point A and point B. That's where you know your worth and you know that this person actually genuinely gives a shit. Ex started saying all these rumors, and it got bad to the point where Garrett's mom had to go to the police and say, listen, he's going on and on about these illegal things that he's never done. He's never done them. We need to tell you guys, just go over and tell him to stop harassing him and his girlfriend, which is me. And so I guess my ex's mom found out, and my ex called her, which is, like I said, the biggest part of the whole thing. And I called my mom immediately and was like, listen, this happened. And I could hear his mom yelling in the background of my mom's phone. Their backyards are connected. They're literally neighbors. That's how me and my ex got together. We knew each other through being neighbors. And so, yeah, it was messed up. So she was yelling in the background, and I told my mom, I said, turn me on speaker. And she's like, what? I said, turn me on speaker. I had my headphones on. I was out in the backyard with my son Ethan, and I was yelling at my ex-mother-in-law saying, listen, your son is the one that's saying all these things. They're not true. He's trying to split us up. We just want your son to leave us alone and live his life and get over his shit. And as I was doing that and yelling at mother-in-law, and she's going like, well, why did you have to go to the cops? You know he's on probation. Yeah, he was at the time. And it's like, well, get him to stop, because this is not keeping the peace. Up in Canada, it's not keeping the peace right now. He's causing a lot of problems. And as I was doing that, my ex decided to run up to my gate, because he literally lives around the corner. And because I had headphones on, I didn't realize I was yelling into the phone. And he said, let me in, I'm getting my kids or something. And I just got them, and I had my foot up, I wedged my foot up against the gate, and he was trying to get into the backyard, and I told him no, he couldn't come get them. And Ethan ran up to him, because that's his dad. I'm not trying to stop him from seeing his kids, but I know why he's there, and he was angry. He had so much hate in his eyes. And he grabbed Ethan by his arm and had him dangling. So Ethan crossed his legs and sat down as he was dangling, because he didn't know what was going on. But I kept yelling at my ex saying, stop, you're hurting him. Just stop, you're hurting him. And eventually, like, as I pulled Ethan away and sent him into the house, he just stopped and he looked at me, had his hands on the gate like this, and me trying to comfort him even though he scared me. At that point, I decided to be strong and put my hands on his hands and saying, listen, you're going to make this worse.